I'm Hugh Sisson. I'm the founder and managing partner for Heavy Seas Beer in Baltimore. And we're going to taste some beer here at the winery. So this is the Bodacious Blonde. So named because when Guinness stopped making Baltimore Blonde in Maryland and moved it to New York, we said, this is stupid. So we threw the dart in the sand and said, we're going to make Bodacious Blonde so that we actually have a Baltimore-style blonde ale that's actually brewed in Maryland.
Should be that way.
So we originally named it BOH-dacious, but we got a cease and desist letter before we shipped the first case. It's 4.5%, really easy.
Great summer beer.
I mean, Loose Cannon's our flagship IPA. It's 7.25% ABV. I can't tell you the number of people who said, I didn't think I liked IPAs. That was my sort of gateway IPA. So it's done really well for us over the year, but it is 7.25%. So we're going to be introducing this summer in a new sampler pack, a new beer called Little Loose, which is going to be about a 5% version of Loose Cannon for when you just want to get a Little Loose. This is Midnight Diver. This is a new product for us. This is a blackberry mango sour ale. The graphics are awesome. This is relatively low ABV, but you're going to find this, the fruit is there, it's not over the top, and the sour is there, but it's not over the top.
Balanced beer.
I think all of our beers are pretty balanced. We work really hard at that. Now, I'm not personally a huge fan of sours. I can drink this one and probably have more than one.
Cheers. Thank you to Heavy Seas. I love Heavy Seas. One of my favorites.
So now we're going to do the IPAs. I think I'll start you with the Bourbon Barrel Aged Loose Cannon. It's 8.5%. The whiskey barrel is there, but it is also not over the top. Cheers. This is the Red Eclipse. It's a vanilla stout aged in a bourbon barrel with cherry. You'll notice, as in all the things we've talked about today, that all of the elements are there. They're integrated. I think it makes it much more interesting and enjoyable. The bourbon is subtle, the cherry is subtle, the vanilla is very subtle. It's a pleasure. We really focus on balanced flavor profiles. Even our big stuff does not drink like it's 10%. My undergraduate and graduate degrees are in theater. I was supposed to be an actor-director. And my father, who was a small businessman, I mean, I can see the cartoon bubble over his head. You know, I got a kid as an actor, what am I gonna do with that? Bought a little bar in, at the time, South Baltimore, now called Federal Hill, and talked me into coming up there to work out of grad school because, you know, I was an actor-director going to New York, and what are you going to do in New York? I'm going to wait tables in 10 bar like every other actor and director in New York. I hadn't been in Baltimore more than 20 minutes, and I walked into the bar, and there was my dad. And as I walked into the bar, he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Great." So he reached in his back pocket, tossed me the keys to the front door, and as I caught them, he said, "Okay, don't up," and walked out. And that's how I got in the bar and restaurant business. So I was there for 15 years. We turned the place into a beer joint back in 82, 83. Pretty much unheard of at the time. In order to promote the beer stuff, I started doing educational beer tastings. In order to actually have a clue what I was talking about, I started homebrewing. My father and I looked up in about 86 and said, geez, what would happen if we could actually make beer here in the bar? It wasn't legal. There was no template to follow. I mean, all these, it's 8,000 breweries in the last 10 years, and, you know, their conversations all went, you know, hello, yes, I'd like to order a brewery, please. Yes, 6 months from now, be fine, thank you, click. We had to figure all this out. So we put a bill in the Maryland legislature to legalize brew pubs, fully expecting it to fail. It passed. I had the OF moment, we better get this done. In August of 1989, my family's pub, Sisson's, became the first brew pub in the state of Maryland, and I was the brewer. So then I brewed there for 5 years and left to start Clipper City Brewing Company, AKA Heavy Seas. and we're going to close 29 years of operations this December. Clipper City Brewing was so named because Clipper Ship was first designed and built in the Port of Baltimore. As we opened, the craft beer industry was going through its first market correction. We are now in the early stages of the second market correction. The beers that I was making under the Clipper City brand name needed to be kept more between the white lines. When the market began to harden a bit in the late 90s, I decided I wanted to do some more adventurous beers, but I really couldn't put them under the Clipper City name because that had already been sort of mainstreamed. Heavy Seas was the segue to bigger adventure from Clipper City. That's the story. This is Hugh Sisson, Heavy Seas Beer, doing a wonderful sampling here at the winery. Enjoy your evening, and thank you all very much for the pleasure.